Hello, everyone. Let's get half organised. Look at that, on time. How cool is that? Great to see everybody here. Greetings from the wine state. Mr. Langford, you know, there are some people in the world that just got to bring that up all the time, isn't there? Just amazing. You know, when Queensland annexes all that wine growing country, you're going to need a passport to get in there. Just saying. Okay, everybody, let's get motivated and mobile and get into this tonight. We have a few things to go through. We have some news, we have some better news, and we have great things to talk about. We are in the right place at the right time. We are here in Australia with an AU4U Gold program, and we are sitting on the cusp of a financial system that is imploding as we speak. Really interesting what I went over on the weekend about the LIBOR rate in London, how it's being phased out. And they reckon it's been because it's inconsequential amounts of money being run through the LIBOR system, but they are having to write off 200 trillion, that's with a T in the front, trillion dollars, because they're on contracts that are attached to LIBOR that has now been discovered were manipulated by a number of banks. So, okay, everybody, let's get into this. Here's a short video from Mr. Maloney. I've edited one of his videos. It's really important that you listen to what he has to say.
Hi, I've got Jeff Clark, the Senior Precious Metals Analyst of GoldSilver.com, on the line with me for another What the FAQ, the Frequently Asked Questions. That's what FAQ stands for. So how you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing great, Mike. It's great to be back with you, too. So, yes, here's another question we've got from some longtime readers and viewers, and that is this. You've talked about there being some type of emergency meeting over the U.S. dollar because the system is breaking down, has to be revalued, and the dollar's losing so much value that they have to meet and decide to do something about it. The world leaders have to meet. So one question is, we've talked about this for a while. How much longer do you think it's going to be, though, before this emergency meeting is held about the U.S. dollar? Is this something that's going to be in the near future? Or could this even be another decade away? So do you have any sense for the timing of all of this, Mike?
Well, you know, one of the things that I also said is that when you try and pick, you can have like a price target on something, or you can have a date but when you try and say two things, you're going to say this is going to happen and it's going to be by this date, then you're most likely going to be wrong. And I've said that before, and I said that, you know, when I made this prediction. But I did say at the beginning of the decade that by the end of this decade that there would probably be some emergency meeting of the G20 finance ministers or something like that to hash out a new world monetary system. Well, the end of the decade is the last day of 2020, so I still have some time left. But I'm probably not going to be accurate on that point, the G20 meeting. But you know what? We're already in the transition to new monetary systems. Bitcoin is a transition, you know, distributed ledger blockchain technology is a transition to a new monetary system. It's happening now with all of these different cryptocurrencies. We just heard that there's going to be digital wallets for FedCoin, basically, a blockchain-based Federal Reserve dollar. And that is basically a new monetary system. Negative interest rates. This is, I don't know if that's a new monetary system or if that's just this one falling apart. I think that's more this one disintegrating. It's a symptom of a monetary system that isn't working. And, you know, I did a video about $11,250 gold. And basically, that was a video just about echoes of the past. It's the 1970s bull market overlaid with today's bull market. And my chart maker made this wonderful tool where I could compress the time on this bull market and compress the amplitude so that I could line up what's called the A wave of, it's an Elliott wave analysis. The A wave is from the very lowest price, the beginning of a bull market, up to a peak, and then it pulls back, and then it continues on in an ABC pattern. And so lining up the peaks on the A waves from the very lowest price from 1980 until today, and the lowest price, and then the peak back in 2011, if the echo continues, and the correlation is astounding, it's unbelievable how close we are when it comes to tracking what happened back in the 70s. It's this greatly amplified echo of the past. And that would end in November of 2023. So who knows? I think it just feels like it should happen in sometime in the next 3 years. It really does. I mean, they're having too many problems. The global health problem that we're having, I call it the Batman Wu flu, or C1984. And the fact that this time we're starting from massive bubbles in stocks, real estate, and bonds. In the 1970s, when gold hit 873 was its peak in 1980, according to stock charts, and silver hit 53 something. When that was happening, we were hitting a low when it came to the overvaluation of stocks. Stocks were very undervalued in 1980. Real estate was undervalued. It was precious metals that were overvalued. This time, we're going into this crisis of the monetary system. In 1971, when there was a crisis of the monetary system, when we had the last shift, the markets had peaked in overvaluation back in 66, and they had been reverting by means of the markets moving sideways while we were having raging inflation. And so they did not keep up with the inflation. PE ratios and all of that came down to where the markets were not in hyper bubbles when we made this transition. Today, we've got all these hyper bubbles. We've got this giant pullback in the GDP of the world and a shift in world monetary system. And then the fact that we're going from a monetary system that was based on, the last times the monetary system shifted, it was baby steps off of something real, gold, that had never failed in all of human history, and to something that always fails. So this time we're going from the monetary system based around only something that always fails to this gigantic step of back to something that doesn't fail, gold and silver. And it looks like gold will be used in the next monetary system, according to some people from central banks. And if it is, then we're talking about some spectacularly high gold prices. But the timing on this, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'll tell you, if this digital Fed coin wallet, the digital currency of the US dollar that's issued by the Fed, if that comes out, one of the things that I read said January 1st, 2021. Then that means that the end of the current monetary system is the end of December of 2020. And so then I will have been right. Otherwise, I missed it by a few years. I tend to be early, but I've also tended to be mostly right. And so I'd rather be early than late and wrong.
He'd rather be early than late and wrong. And that's, to me, when I listened to that the first time, when he talked about the US Fed coin, and that the banks have already been mandated in America that they must have digital accounts for these, that's pretty well spelling out the end of the monetary system as we see it today. I'm not sure how you could come up with any other conclusion, but that's what they're happening with what they're doing in America right now. Okay, they are going to have a Fed coin. We know that the accounts have to be in place on January 1st, 2021. What else does that mean for the rest of the world? Well, nobody really knows yet. Over the weekend, which is still happening in London, they tried to turn off the LIBOR process, and we'll see what happens with that over the next few days. But they're having to write off $200 trillion US dollars worth of loans. And it's because they've been smashed. The banks have been fined billions and billions of dollars for manipulating the market. Now, if you think we exist in a free and open market, you need to start to get educated, understand what's going on in the banking system, in the monetary system, and what we're lumbered with. And here at Gold Rocks, we are committed, absolutely committed, to ensure that everyone goes forward together. We are not leaving anybody behind. I know that sometimes this is difficult because some people are challenged with computers. We are going to go out of our way to make sure everybody has an opportunity to benefit from this transition. And it's built on the fact that we have an Australian metal supplier, and we have some digital options as well. We've got Ethereum, Bitcoin, all sorts of different things happening at the moment. We just need to make sure that everyone gets an opportunity to benefit from this massive shift. It will be, without question, the biggest wealth transfer in history on the planet. Write that down if you don't believe me. Come back in 12 months' time and tell me what you think. So welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are really in a great space at the moment because when you look at what's happening in the world, that's what we're dealing with. That's a graph showing how much value the US dollar has lost against gold since the year 2000. That's just since the year 2000. Now, if you want to go back further, wow, I can tell you it is way worse than that. If you go back to the 70s, in our little intro video, which we'll see in a minute, we talk about 2,800% since the 70s. That is a stupidly conservative number when you actually do the maths. And it doesn't matter what currency you do the maths in, it's way more than that. So we're here today because everyone goes forward together. Doesn't matter what your background is. Doesn't matter if you're a red hot networker. Doesn't matter if you don't know what to say. We will help you build this business because our principles are be the first to get paid in your business. Make sure that you do. Build a residual income because that's a must. Limit your tax exposure because if you don't, you will pay a lot more money than you need to just to do business. And make sure that you're in front of inflation. Now, you can look at this any way you like, but those principles will be something that we can talk to you about how we do it, what you would do if you wanted to do what I'm doing, how to get yourself in a position where you've got a residual income. We've got many options to do that, but you need to be very, very focused on what you're doing this for because that is the determining factor. So if you have a look through the people that we've had as sponsors and merchants over the years, they've all been great supporters of our business. And I know that collectively, just from those merchants on the screen, there's been way more than $11,000 of member benefits collected over the last few months. Now, some of them haven't been paid out yet. A whole lot of them haven't, because they were initially in the other program where we were putting gold into a wallet and transferring it. And now, of course, that's all been altered by them. We've got to get it out, but you will get it. It is underway. $11,000 worth of free gold or silver, as the case may be. That's a great outcome, just with people doing what they do every single day. You look at the ComChoice margin, you get 4% bonus in gold with ComChoice. That's pretty good. BJS Urban, I know that Brad Saravalli says if you rock up with a bottle of cheap red wine that he'll give you a 15% discount. I've only heard that as a rumor, not sure that's true, but he would in fact be involved in a good drop of red. And if he's building you a fence, you'll get some gold back. Doug and Jenny Loveday, great oil, great product, got it in my vehicles, can't speak highly enough of it. Skippy Pest Control, got a little hammer that he runs around squashing white ants with. Brad Smith at Surefire Web looks after our digital platforms and easy shopping cards. Give us gold back on our everyday shopping. So let's get into this. Here's our little intro video, which will be updated in the next few days. I've redone the script and we'll be sending it off to someone to do a little video in the corner. Let's see what this says. Welcome to an AU4U presentation brought to you by Gold Rocks. We think this is the best business opportunity we've seen in a very long time. A gold and silver savings program for Australia and beyond. We think you need to know about the true cost of living and where your money goes. The cost of living has risen exponentially over the past 20 years, and the average household income has not done so in any way. Inflation alone is rising faster than the average wage. So let's have a little reality check, shall we? Here in Australia, the average household debt is more than 180% of its total income. Now that's a really frightening number when you see where we all sit in the financial world. But why save gold? Well, since the 1970s, gold has soared by 2,800% in value, and here at Gold Rocks, we think that's something we need to pay attention to. Now, let's be clear. Gold itself does not change value. What changes value is the currency that we're comparing it with and purchasing it with. So a kilo of gold today buys exactly the same as it did 100 years ago. In 1920, 1 kilogram of gold bought you a top-of-the-line Ford automobile. 100 years later, you would get change for the same top-of-the-line purchase. We're not talking about the fact that the price of gold and silver go up or down. What we're talking about is the fact that the currencies that we're used to using are what it is that fluctuates. Why save in silver? In the same 100-year period, silver has increased by 430%. However, the differential between gold and silver, which has been at historically high levels lately, is absolutely and amazingly out of sync. We believe this is where silver is going to come into its own in the very near future, and you can listen to lots of podcasts that will give you information on projected outcomes with gold and silver. What we're here today to do is to pique your interest in an alternative savings alongside everyday currencies. During that period from 1970 until today, our Australian dollar has lost over 92% of its purchasing power. That is a very bad number, but it's real, so let's ask some of the experts. Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, calls gold God's money and silver as the working man's money. Mike Maloney published a series called The Hidden Secrets of Money. It's well worth you researching on YouTube for an education process. It will explain a lot about why we think gold and silver are the two things you should be paying attention to now. Lynette Zhang from Phoenix, Arizona. She's a metal specialist and very blunt. An interesting lady to listen to whenever you get the opportunity to listen to one of her podcasts. Warren Buffett, the world's most successful investor, is now divesting himself of bank stocks to buy gold mining stocks. Goodness, I wonder why, do you think? AU4U has gold and silver bullion savings programs with a powerful referral plan attached. You can swap your dollars for gold or silver bullion, or you can earn in multiple ways by sharing the AU4U concept with others. AU4U stands for gold, for you, and it's Australian, so the AU has two meanings, and you'll see by the colours in the logo that we have silver as well. AU4U has a simple solution. Exchange your devaluing fiat currency into gold and silver, and when it's needed, you can exchange your bullion back into fiat currency. Doesn't that complete the circle? What else really do you need to know? In defining wealth, Henry David Thoreau said, "Wealth is the ability to fully experience life, and that's what I've been attempting to do all my life. Live life to the fullest. I haven't done it all yet, but I'm working on some more things now." The bullion is 999.9 purity LBMA certified, and you can buy it in very small amounts, even less than 1 gram. Just start saving. The value of your savings will be multiplied by the increase in the value of your metal. It's affordable, it's accessible, and it's really easy to use. All we're about today is to get your attention, get the information to you. Start a free savings account. Decide for you yourself. We'll train you, teach you, and support you until you achieve the goals that you set out to achieve. We are creating a free, financially secure society, starting with you and me. And if we can manage to do that, we will have made a serious impact on our society. Won't it be nice when you can put your hand into your sock drawer and pull out 5 1-kilo bars of gold just like those? Remember, in 1920, one of those bars would buy your brand new vehicle, as it does today. Thank you for joining us in this brief presentation. We hope you got some information, and if you have any further questions, please get back in touch with the person that sent you this link. That person will be happy to get your questions answered and explain more about our bullion program and connect you with some information about our digital platforms. Thank you for joining us. Well, there you go. We have a great opportunity because we are tinfoil hat aficionados. Every week the news gets worse, but don't panic, Jonesy. We got gold, baby. We got silver now as well. I cannot tell you how happy I am with this new program. Everything we've asked for from these suppliers has been granted. They give us a whole lot of attention. I'll be surprised if someone wants their gold or silver shipped, it doesn't leave the building on the same day. I know it will if it's ordered before lunch. Not sure about the afternoons, but it's very, very easy to get information from these guys. So if you have any questions, what we're going to do is consider opening up a chat room so that we can talk directly with one of the suppliers. But I'm really happy that we have today an Australian option. It is without doubt the best program we have looked at anywhere. AU-4u.gold and AU4u.gold have been registered. We're working on the software. We have a temporary purchasing site, should go live this week, and we'll be able to actually do it. But we're going to run through tonight how to order metal in the short term. And once we go full-blown interactive with our live website, it will be really easy, great and easy to track. So what we're here to talk about is gold and silver. Make sure you understand we're talking about bullion. But if you need to, it's actually the makings of jewelry. Jewelry's never been confiscated. And you'll see lots of YouTube videos and commentaries, podcasts from people at the moment talking about the reset. I listened to Mike Maloney and a couple of others today that actually talked about the fact that gold will be part of the reset. They don't have any insight into how it's going to be involved, but they're all talking about it being part of the reset. So simple, straightforward, transparent. Customers, completely free to register. They don't get a discount, but it's still cost effective. It is way cheaper than the options we had before. And as affiliates, it's a $300 voucher to join, and we've upgraded the gold component to $100 of gold. So those of you that have already purchased a pack to get started, you will be included in that $100 gold upgrade. So 1/3 of the money that you put in for a voucher is immediately converted into gold, and the other $200 is converted over time from gold sales in the business. So at some point you will have all of your $300 back in gold, and it will have cost you absolutely nothing to be a member. You don't have to go and find 20,000 euros to buy a pack. You can do this with literally money you find in your pocket. How do I order through pre-launch? Okay, we're going to step through this tonight. I'm not going to take too long because we've got a lot of things to talk about, but this will be included in the video that'll be on YouTube. The first thing you do is send an email to au4uinfo@gmail.com. Reference your mobile phone number and include this information. How many dollars of gold and silver are you purchasing? Your name and address and your referrer's name. Now, once this all goes automatic, you won't need to do any of that. It will be online. But at the moment, we're trying to piece all these pieces of software together, make sure that we interface with the bullion dealers. All that sort of stuff is going on. I understand this is a bit of a task for you to do, but this is pre-launch. Once we get the software sorted, we have some phone conferences tomorrow night to talk to software providers. Once that's all sorted, it will be all in one place. It'll be a simple transaction, and it won't be a project. And yes, Jan, not as big a task as the other mob. So you will then receive an email with the bank account details to pay into. Now, you can do this with a credit card, but I have to warn you there's a 1.8% fee on the credit card transaction. We're attempting to renegotiate that, but I've got to get creative in my description of the business activities. You will then receive an email after settlement with the weight of the metal you just purchased. So it doesn't matter whether it's gold or silver. This is how it works. I saw another order go through today for $4,500 worth of metal. This is working, and it's working really well. So why our metal? Why would you want to buy metal from AU4U? Well, it's an Australian option for a start. It's here in Brisbane. The metal is stored in a vault that has a 40-year history in precious metals. 40 years. It's astounding to go in there, be invited into the inner workings and see how well the system works. They've got a 40-year history of working out the kinks. The insurance is for full replacement value. Absolutely full replacement value. It's SMSF compliant for Australian customers. So if you have a self-managed super fund and you want to include metal into it, you can do it with this supplier, with AU4U. The buyback price is based on current Australian spot price. So we had lots of discussion around how much we would get back if they bought it back, etc. So obviously there's a margin. They pay the spot price when you bring it back in. but it's the current spot price. So as the price of metal goes up, you've got already sorted that out. So it will be really, the metal we know is going to go through the roof. Miss Kate, we're just processing all those now, and you will get a confirmation email once we actually get the format of the email sorted. So yes, you have already had your $100 worth of gold purchased, and it's in place. I'm really excited by where we're going, people. This is so cool because it's simple, straightforward, and transparent. That's what it is. I mean, here we are. How do you get started? Buy a pack, do $100 worth of gold or silver a month, share the value with others, and teach them how to buy their own. That's it. You don't have to get educated about cryptocurrency. You don't have to get in and talk to people about how it's an initial coin offering and what that means. It's metal. It's gold. It's silver. Which one would you like? Have a look back at our history and see that gold has increased in value thousands of percent in the last few years. Thousands. So the quick start promo, register 5 in 5 weeks. If they're completely new people from outside of your team, you get paid $150 in commission plus 3 silver 1 ounce coins, or you can opt for one of the other payment options if you choose. So that's a $300 payout right there. On top of the fact that you're going to have $300 worth of gold because you joined with the pack. That's very cool. And yes, Jan McCloskey and Dan have each got a silver coin they carry around. I just picked up a couple the other day myself. It's amazing. It's very cool to pull one out and go, this is what we're talking about. Let people look at it. So our digital trading, we have a number of options that we're working with here. We have Ethereum, we have Bitcoin, we have all sorts of options along that road. We are screening them very, very carefully. We do not want to go down the road with someone that will do what the last company did. So this one we're doing now, they all need to be in business more than 10 years. If they are doing something we don't understand, if they're a trading platform, we need to make sure that they've got history. So it's really interesting to see. We're looking for only programs that let you set up for nothing. If you're involved in Freebay and you've had to pay 4,600 euros for a pack to teach you how to trade and then get stuck to a computer, good luck. Been there, done that, not interested. I want something I can put my assets in and it will make some money. And we've been able to achieve that. So your Karatbit assets will come out of where they are and into a new trading platform. Whichever one you choose, there are options. We will work on which ones we're going to focus on and which ones we're going to pass on and which ones we will even talk about. So how will it work? Everyone goes forward together. So your Australian-based gold, silver supplier will organise the purchase, storage, supply and insurance of metal, gold and silver, metal. We may open that up to other metals later, but at the moment we're going to stick to gold and silver. Everyone understands that. The digital systems, they do Bitcoin, Ethereum, and digital silver and digital gold, and lots of other cryptocurrencies, obviously. And then there's all sorts of digital platforms we can include if they pass the test. But at the moment, we've settled on 2. So we're working on bringing everyone an opportunity that they can take the assets they currently have in Karatbit or in Karatbars and turn it into cash flow. That's what we're about. The bonuses can all be paid in gold, silver, Bitcoin, or cash. You get to choose. You're not stuck in any one or the other. You're not stuck in waiting till the 11th of the month for a payment to process that you need to buy fuel. These payments are made weekly, and you get to choose how you want them to come. So now some news on the KBC migration that's come to our attention. And we've been sweating about this. We've been trying to find out information that's been withheld. This came out on Saturday. So I've done a quick run through. If you go into your Karatbit wallet and go to the reduction plan, you'll see that your KBC have a new box under the action tab that says generate migration code. Okay, so that's under the reduction plan. You'll see all of your KBC there, and it says generate migration code. When you click on that, this is what you see. Now, it brings up a screen that calculates the bonuses that you got, the KBC rate, the average rate, etc. It then says you will generate a code for whatever the number of G999 coins are. And you'll see down the bottom the two words that you can't quite make out there is confirm or reject. So it talks through how they're splitting up the numbers of KBC. You can see right at the top it says 1,000 KBC, and at the bottom it says you will generate a code for 393.75 G999. Now, what they're not telling us at this point is how much are the G999 coins going to come on the market for? And that's the bit that they are being very careful not to tell us. So it is what it is. It will be whatever it is when it comes through, but we at least have a roadmap, and I'm excited by that. Because when you do this, you'll see that now on the bottom line there, there's no button there anymore for generate migration code. It's already done. So of those 5 options there, that person's done one and already got the migration code. If you click on the migration codes, you will see that you started with 1,000 KBC or whatever the number is. It will then show you what the G999 number is, and it will give you a transaction hash. You will need that when you go into your G999 wallet when it opens. Now, there's a whole lot of different ways to look at this. And as Jan said, we lose 60% of the number, hopefully the value will be there. Well, that was in fact what was promised when we did the reduction plan. We're yet to see what that number's going to be. I'm not too stressed about it now that we actually have an option. If I was Joe Blow in Freebay and all I could do with KBC was save it for paying transaction fees on V999, I'd be a really worried individual. But we have options, people. We have good options. So it appears that we can take our reduced KBC directly into G999. Do not lose the 20-word saga to get into your G999 wallet, because I can tell you at the moment, it's the only way you can get into it. So once you've set it up, do not lose those words. You don't need to have this done anytime really soon, but you need to have it done by the end of the month. So anything other than cryptocurrency needs to be washed through Freebay. So if you've got cash gold or classic gold that you don't want to pay the freight on, it appears the only way we can get that out and do something with it, despite what we were told before, is to bring it through Freebay and convert it into V999. Now, the problem I have with that is we don't have all the information about V999 yet, so I'm a little bit worried about that. However, I will be bringing my gold through that process to get it out. it saved me a pile of freight and fees. So let's see what we can do there. But remember, you can take your KBC directly into the G999. Once you've created your wallet, do not lose the words. Important that you keep them. Anything other than cryptocurrency needs to go through Freebay. So it's a really unique way for them to get us all to at least register in Freebay, so they've got a whole bunch of affiliates straight off the bat. In some places, they might call that blackmail. But anyway, I can assure you I have no interest in selling training packages. So let's have a look at the G999 wallet. When you go through the process, we will be sending out an email this week with these steps in it and the links to the wallet. So you can download it, install it, get it up on your computer. This is what the new wallet looks like. This is underneath that QR code is a blockchain address. And if you were receiving coins, that's where you would send them. You can see on the right, it says you're going to send. So you put in a blockchain address and the amount and send it, and off you go. So that seems relatively simple. But what is GS Trade? Okay. Is it the new Karatbit? Well, it looks like that on the landing page. You need to register or log in up in the top right-hand side. And once you've registered, you can see that this is the dashboard. Gee, does that look familiar? It does. And you'll see G999 on the bottom of the screen there, measured in USDT. And you've got deposit, withdrawal, and explorer, where you can look at what's happening in the wide world outside that. Now, on your best behavior, would we look at trading inside that wallet? Yes, we would, because our G999, as per that photograph there, will be exchangeable into Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Tether, any one of the three. Now, that will be based on the market. So what is it that we need to do? Jenny's saying she set up the G999 wallet but never received the 20-word spiel. Did you see the 20-word spiel when you were setting it up? No. Okay, then you haven't got it set up. We'll catch up with you in the next few days and sit down and show you how to do that. GS Trade is the platform that you use migration codes in, then you transfer the G999 to your G999 wallet. Okay? So that's for the web wallet. Did you use a 64-bit? Yes, if so, you have an app wallet on your desktop. It depends how you set it up, Jenny. I've got 64-bit on my laptop, but I don't have a wallet on my desktop. Stephen Reed, PC version, you make up your own key. Yep. Angela, with the G999, do we need our KYCs again? At some point you will. However, they are granting you 999 free coins if you do the KYCs. So I think they're maybe getting the, okay, Jenny and yep, have the app on it. They're giving away free coins because they've worked out that people are a little bit ticked off with the amount of KYC documentation and work. Yeah, so it's important that you do it. You will get a free 1,000 coins in round figures. So it's worth doing. Okay. We will make sure that we get our heads around as much of it as we can. So make sure that you understand what you're doing. And yes, there are different options to download it on your computer or run it through a browser. So we all just need to make sure that we're careful about how we do it. We've already had a couple of people that have discarded the 20-word phrase and now, oops, can't get back in. So they'll need to re-register with a different username and password and email address. Okay. Here's the catch. We all thought we could do something this month. But trading will not be allowed until the 15th of December. So stay calm. Don't run around in circles screaming. It's a 2-month delay. But it does mean that we will have access to them for the Christmas period. So this is where they talk about the airdrop. So once you pass your gold KYC level on the GS Trade Exchange, you get 999 free coins. And they call it an educational airdrop. That's just a technical term for we're giving you some free coins. So it's an interesting way that they're going about it. We'll refrain from having too many comments on it. Brad Saravalli suggesting you get on the official Price Maker channel on Telegram. There's a whole lot of us that just can't get on it, and we don't know why. And it's not even because they don't like me, because a whole lot of people that they've never heard of that can't get on it. So anyway, here we go. Make sure you understand that. We're going to keep sending out information, and we'll make sure that we get everybody up to speed. Stephen says, put both your first and middle name in the first name field if your ID has a middle name on it. They don't understand what first means. Okay, well, interesting, Steve. Probably does. They're Germans after all. We call them box heads. It's amazing that they don't know that. But yeah, if your ID has first, middle, and last name, put all three of them on whatever you're doing. Okay, let's look at some upcoming events. Sunday, 25th of October at the Gold Coast. We will be down there, Lone Star Tavern at Mermaid Waters. We will send an email out this week with some further details. And October 31st, that should be 31st, not 30th, just a few weeks away. Barbecue at Berrinbar Wetlands. Bring a plate to share, some drinks, and a chair. There are chairs and tables there. There are toilets. There are roofs. There are barbecues. But you never know. Bring a chair if you've got fold-up ones. Details, again, emails this week. We will put in a link so you can see where it is. Click on it and it'll show you where to go. So we are having a great time, really happy with where we're going. Hopefully the border will be open soon. Yeah, I hope so. Okay. Anybody got any questions? You can unmute. You can type if you can type fast enough. My fingers don't keep up with my mouth, so I tend to talk. Steve, you got a question?
Yeah, I have. That email you promised to send me, is it somewhere in the ether?
No, I sent it to you on your Gmail account.
Oh, right. Okay. I was expecting the Yahoo. Thanks. Sorry.
Okay. That's all right. Sorry, wherever I looked up your info, it had your Gmail account. Okay.
Right. Yeah, that's my Australian one, the Golden DeFi.
Okay, yes, that was it.
Read is the top one. That's my Philippine company account. So.
Yep.
Okay, I'll check there. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, mate. Any other questions? When the border is open, Ms. Burke, we will expect to see you up here in all your finery. Okay, well, we don't seem to have any questions. Amazing. We look forward to helping you earn your future in gold from the team at Gold Rocks. Thank you for coming tonight. Stay safe till we meet again, and we will see you on the golden beaches of the world. Have a golden evening.
Derek, before you go.
Here we go.
Sorry.
Yep.
I just had a thought. One of the things that I've been sort of wondering about was because all my trading that I do all the time, I do as limit trades rather than market trades. And the way that I understood your setup was that it became by default a market trade because it happened whenever they opened your or whenever they received your $300.
Okay, yeah. So the way we're set up is so that people can send $100. It's not a trade, it's a purchase. So they send $100, and because it might take 2 days to show up, 3 days to show up, we get 2 minutes to set the price.
Right.
So,
no, what I'm meaning is that there doesn't seem to be any way of saying I'm happy to buy if it's $24 or less. Talking about silver, but if you open your bank account just after it's jumped to $25, I don't want it.
no, can't do it.
Oh, that's a bugger.
Yep, cannot do it at the moment.
Okay.
Because it's not a trading platform, it's a wallet.
Sure.
So
but
we've set it up so that once you send the money, it automatically triggers the purchase.
Right. So there's no way of saying only if it's 24 or less.
No.
Okay. Okay. Well, okay.
Good idea, though. We can look at doing that in the future.
Can I submit a request?
Yeah, we'll look at that.
Okay. Sure. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, mate. Miss Angela, you have a question?
No.
Okay. Diane, are you okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay, thanks, everybody. We look forward to seeing you on the golden beaches of the world. Have a golden evening. Have a great night.